hang on just a second in case it's not really started. All right, I am live. Well, hi there. How are you guys doing today? Might be a little bit echoey because I am coming to you from a place we've never been before, which is the future Clint's Reptile room. This is behind me, and I imagine there will probably be a lot of questions about it during this live stream, but I'm really excited, guys. This is going to be an incredible place. It's going to give us a lot of opportunities to share the joy of this hobby and just learning about animals and science and nature with all kinds of people all over the world. And this is something that's only possible because of your support. And so I just want to say thank you. I'm blown away. My family, we've been thinking about doing this for a while now, and we found this place which is just, it's perfect in every single way. Like, there's nothing about it I would change. It is exactly what we needed, and we were getting really close to making a decision, and I was just, I was thinking about it, if we could afford to do it. And I kind of decided it was going to be too hard right now. I love this dream, but I didn't feel like I wanted to do that to my family right now. And that's when I reached out to you guys, and I just said, is this something that you guys would want to get behind? And 2,100 people said that they would help support us with I don't know, little donations. Though some of you have given big donations, and already 160 people have donated to help make this a reality. And it's possible now. It's possible because of you guys. So thank you for your continued support. And I'm excited to get to talk to you guys about this even more tonight. But I think I better find out what Jason's got for me.
Hey, can we just apologize for maybe the quality?
The quality? Okay, yes. The quality of this broadcast is unknown to us, so hopefully it's good. I did a number of tests during the day. As we haven't moved in officially yet, we don't have our own internet source here. One of our neighbors was nice enough to let us use their Wi-Fi. Hopefully it's fast enough. I tried doing it earlier today on the data on my phone. That was horrible. So at least in my tests, this looked pretty good. Hopefully it looks pretty good to you guys, but from what I'm seeing, not that great. Not that great. So I apologize. It is what it is. In the future, we will actually be building our studio here, and we will make sure that we've got excellent internet so that we can do our live streams here, and it'll look great. But for now, this is what it is, and I'm sorry if it's not ideal.
So James Hayos sent a super chat.
Super chat!
That says, you're the best, Clint. Maybe despite the glitchiness.
Despite my glitchiness. Maybe the glitchiness improves me. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's open a viewer mail.
Holy smokes. Thank you guys for sending this, by the way. As always, I have not seen any of this. Jason has pre-opened it for me to save time opening letters, but he did not tell me any of it. Okay. So this is from Ben. And Ben has written me a really nice note, which I am going to need to take more time to read. But I like the shape of this note card too. Thank you very much, Ben. He says he wants to find out more about black roughneck monitors, and I can tell you I do have access to black roughneck monitors, so we will cover them in the relatively near future. Thank you, Ben. I'll read that in detail later.
So as one of the perks of Patreon, we asked our patrons over there to give us some questions. And so we're going to select a few of those questions to be read and to be answered by you.
Giddy up.
And have you seen these questions?
I have not seen these questions.
Okay, good. So Terra Tiger Studio asks, and this might be a little telling of a future video we may or may not have already started. What are your top 5 most underrated reptiles in the pet trade or otherwise?
Top 5 most underrated reptiles. Well, I would say, and this is not necessarily my definitive list. This is going to be my off the top of my head list. There are 2 that come to mind really fast, which are pink-tongued skinks, which we just recently covered, and African fat-tailed geckos, largely because these are animals that are really, really similar to animals that are extremely popular in the pet trade, and yet most people have never heard of these. Let's see, some other good ones that I would consider to be underrated. Oh, boy. Russian rat snakes. I'm learning more and more about Russian rat snakes all the time, but they seem just tremendous. Like every bit as good as corn snakes. They get bigger, which I think is cool. That would be a good one. I will keep thinking about others. How about brown roughneck monitors, the Dumerils monitors? Because even though they're not for everybody, they're kind of similar in size to a Savannah monitor and just a way better pet. So I'm going to put that one on my short list. And underrated reptiles.
Pink tongue was.
That was number 1. That was one.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
I need one more for this. Oh, how about pictus geckos? I just got some. They're lovely, wonderful, amazing geckos. So those are 5 underrated reptiles. I don't know if they're the most underrated, but I'd have to give that more thought. Great question.
Okay, let's catch up on some super chats.
Super chats.
Let's see. Keenan says free super chat, which I don't know what that means, but hi, Keenan.
Who loves orange soda? I do.
Let's see. G-Town says love your videos. Can't wait till you open your shop.
Me either. There's a lot of work we got to put in here first, but I am getting really excited about it.
I'm gonna butcher this. Charlie Cole sent us a new sticker. I think is what super stickers or something like that. YouTube just enabled this and started this.
Fancy.
And it's a little sticker that says "My Hero."
Aw.
Amar Sahel says, greetings from Ireland. I've been thinking of buying a snake for years, but your vids have helped me decide for sure that I need to, but torn between a ball python or a milk snake. Any comments or suggestions?
You're telling me there are snakes in Ireland? That's fantastic news. I got Jason at least. So you're torn between a milk snake and a ball python? Those are 2 very reasonable, good beginner potentially snakes. So either one is a great choice. They're very, very different from each other, though, in a lot of ways. A ball python is obviously much larger, much heavier, very low key when you handle it. Milk snakes are basically the opposite of that. Milk snakes are fast, relatively darty, not super low key usually when you handle them. Though some of them can be. A lot of them are just trying to fall all the time, and they're more likely to bite you. That said, milk snakes are a lot better feeders than our ball pythons. In general, I mean, most of my ball pythons actually feed just great, but milk snakes, they love food so much. So much so they might try to eat themselves. True story that. So either one can be great. It really just depends on which one appeals to you the most. The truth is you're going to end up with both anyway, so just which one do you want first?
Okay, let's open up an item.
An item?
Yes, be sure to not show too many details of this item.
Okay.
For this letter.
Can I say who it's from?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you kidding me? Well, this is just a check.
There's a note.
And a letter. It's short enough letter I can probably read it now. Nope. Okay. I'm not allowed to read letters right now. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. All of your donations are so very much appreciated. You have no idea. It's been extremely humbling to see the generosity of so many people around us and how many people believe in what we're doing. And I can't express to you guys what it means to me. Thank you. Like you're changing my life. I certainly, and people still find this insane. They find out, oh, you just finished your PhD, so what are you going to do now? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking about focusing on YouTube. And they're like, well, they laugh at me for a while first, and then once they realize I'm being serious, it takes some explaining, but it's because you guys are incredible. And right from the beginning, you've been so encouraging of what we've been doing. I mean, we never dreamed in a million years we were going to go this far or find this group of incredible people around us. So thank you, all of you. You're incredible.
All right, let's jump back to our patrons on Patreon.
Giddy up.
Betty Morgan is asking a question: what are the pros and cons of allowing a larger reptile, such as a tegu, free roam in a room in your house?
Okay, pros and cons of allowing free roaming reptiles in your house. It depends. It depends on what that room is like, right? I mean, here in Clint's reptile room, we're essentially going to build a room for Gus, right? So if you really are willing to devote this room full time to that animal, and you build really just like an excellent giant enclosure for that reptile in that room, then it's pretty much all pros, except for the fact that you lose a room in your house. You're just making like the greatest giant enclosure ever. However, if you want that room to still be functional basically as a normal room, you got to realize that the animal might do some damage to that room, all kinds of damage. Also, that room is probably not really properly suited to all the needs of a reptile. It's more suited to the needs of a human, which can be very different. And so while I think it's okay to let them free roam, sometimes you definitely want a purpose-built enclosure somewhere in which they reside most of the time, and then they can get out for exercise and stuff. That would be my recommendation.
Awesome. Let's jump back to Super Chat.
Super Chat!
My wife told me that my son jumps up and giggles every time you say that.
Thank you, Hunter.
Our Fatima Jaffrey just sent a super chat, so thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Fout says, can you please say hello to my crested gecko, Sauron?
Sauron, how are you doing? So great to see you today.
Another super chat by Shotgun Shane 15 says, Emma and Julian want Clint to say, well, hi there.
Well, hi there, Emma and Julian.
Juliana.
Juliana. Well, hi there, Emma and Juliana.
There we go.
Get that right.
2005 White. All I've got for now. Good luck on your adventure. I look forward to watching Clint's reptile room become a functioning reality.
Thank you so much. Your encouragement is going to help a lot because there's a lot to be done here.
Let's see. Steve S. says, YouTube Premium users get one free super chat a month. Oh, that might explain.
Free super chat!
That might explain the free super chat comment. All right. Ryan Knoll says, love your content, Clint. Can't wait to get a boa someday, partly because of your videos.
Oh, well, you have excellent taste. I'm glad we could help you find the right snake for you.
Dan C. asks, what is that ring on your right hand all about?
This one. Ciao. Let's see how close I can get this. There it is. Okay, so that is a CTR ring, and CTR stands for choose the right, because I want to make good choices in my life and be a good influence on myself, my family, and those around me.
Amar Sahel says, thank you for answering. And yes, we do have snakes, just not wild. LOL. That was
I figured as much.
All right. Let's jump to some fan.
This was hand delivered to me. Oh, let's see if we got to get it so you can see it. This was hand delivered to me at let's see. This is from Chubby Cat Studios. They hand delivered it to me at Tinley. You actually may recognize this from our video when we were at Tinley. Awesome people, amazing talent, and I had to show this off one extra time because it's amazing. Makes me happy. This is Gus, by the way. And I believe this is light side, I think.
Let's jump over to our Patreon users. Kelly Howell asks, would you ever do a video explaining how the blue-eyed leucistic complex works?
Oh, heck yeah, I would. Is that something you guys would like? Because, okay, you know I like me some genetics, right? And I like ball python genetics because it's cool and there's so many neat examples. And the blue-eyed leucistic complex is my most favoritist. So, yeah, I could totally do that. I could probably even live stream that because I think about this all the time.
Okay, let's catch up on some super chats.
Super chats!
Let's see. Megan Orlando asks or says, Clint, any info on the new spider video?
Which new spider video? We did film another spider video about arachnids, if that's the one that you're asking about. So expect one in the relatively near future.
Yeah, because you gave a sneak peek.
Only on Instagram, which it might have just been a picture of a spider. You never know. You never know.
It's not.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Let's see, another super chat from Matzer Frankie says, kind of old, but can you nay? That is, is referring to a music video. Right.
I cannot nay, tragically. But I may learn about some naying after this, and then I will find out if it is appropriate to nay.
Witho, also super chat, says, I'm getting a lychee soon. I'm so stoked.
You should be so stoked. At Tinley, I was seeing lychees everywhere and holding lychees, and I got obsessed with lychees. And I've actually been talking to Great Basin Serpentarium about maybe trading them a couple of snakes for a lychee. But there were snakes that I really like that I just produced. It's a crystal and a mystic potion, and those are two snakes I don't know if I really want to trade away. I don't know what to do, but lychees are rad. So rad.
Let's see. I'm going to say Lee McElmurray. Nope. McEl Murray. Murray. I don't know.
Something like that.
Says, absolutely brilliant channel, and your mind is too.
Well, thank you very much. This is the coolest thing because most of my life I didn't know anybody who is genuinely interested in all my reptile stuff. And so, people would humor me. And all of a sudden I found thousands of people that want to hear about reptiles. You guys are the best people in the world.
Let's see, also a super chat from Sierra S. She says,
super chat.
And I remember Sierra S, at least from previous, they say, throwback to last live stream, Sun Conure, is that the right
yes.
Say it? Conure?
So loud.
Okay. Is a maybe, but what about African gray parrots for the best pet reptile? Have one of those too in Utah.
Ooh, I would like to do African gray parrots. They're one of my favorite parrots because they're so smart. So smart. If you do about Alex the parrot, it's more than mimicry with them. Like they can learn how to talk. Ridiculous.
Okay, let's open up another fan mail.
Giddy up. Am I allowed to say who these are from?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
Okay.
Sorry if you don't think so, people.
Okay, so this one's from
Tell us
Ryan.
specifically.
Whoa! And it's a great letter, but the most important part, well, I don't know that because I haven't read the letter yet. So the letter may be the most important part, but the thing that's sending out to me right now, look at this rad crested gecko drawing. It's amazing. I love it. And I look forward to reading the rest of it later. Thank you so much. Let's see here.
Let's see. Let's jump back to Patreon question. Ilani says, how did you come to be an educator?
Oh, that is a tremendous question. I've been wandering. So When I was in high school, I wanted to be a herpetologist. I didn't know how a herpetologist made money, but I was pretty sure I wanted to study reptiles. And so I took 4 years of biology and 1 year of chemistry in high school. And then I went to college, and I got my major was zoology. I should add, during high school, I did competitive speech. And I signed up for this because I was shy, and I was just trying to force myself outside of my comfort zone a little bit. And so I kind of got the bug for that. Like, I really enjoyed doing competitive speech and just speaking in front of groups and stuff. And when I was in college, I studied zoology because that was as close as I could get to herpetology. And I wound up double majoring. I got a degree in biology as well because I just had to take developmental biology instead of an elective, and I would double major. So I double majored. And I also took, just as classes for my enjoyment, I took some public speaking classes in college, and I loved that. And when I graduated, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I was starting to feel like I wanted to go into academia. I was thinking about doing biology, but biology was always really hard for me, and communication stuff was always easier for me. It sort of was what came to me naturally. I'm not a great memorizer of things, and that's what most of my undergraduate degree had been. And so I was trying to figure out, what do I want to do? And I went and I worked at Disney World in the animal kingdom there, and I really enjoyed that. And I was just teaching people about animals there. And then I went and I lived in Peru for 2 years, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what did I want to do. And I found out that when I'm not learning something new, I'm not very happy. And I need to push myself. And so I went on in biology, and I got a master's degree in evolutionary ecology, mostly because evolution and ecology are the parts of biology that always came to me the most naturally. And then while I was getting my master's, I took one course in biology education, and it was amazing, right? It was like, I've always hated school, always. And it was like I was being taught all the ways that school should be awesome and how to make it awesome. And so, from there, it's like, I gotta know more about this. And so I got my PhD in biology education because this stuff is so cool, right? And I want to share it with people, and it should not suck. But it is amazing. It was amazing to me, at least, how a lot of my professors could take the thing I'm the most interested in and just make it absolutely miserable to learn about it. And so, I want to make school what I have always thought it should be. And that's how I got into education. Sorry for the long answer, but it's a big part of my life, that.
Let's jump over to Super Chats.
Super Chats!
Shane Williams says, I'm a fish guy, but thanks to your channel, I'm getting into reptiles. I have a group of Mediterranean geckos that are doing well. How do you feel about them? What would you recommend as a next beginner choice?
If you're doing so, if you're a fish person, you probably know a lot about researching things really heavily. And so, if you're talking about like Mediterranean house geckos, which I assume you are, I actually wouldn't really recommend those to a beginner. They're kind of terrible for most beginner reptile keepers because they're fast and their care is somewhat specialized, and they're small and they're not really handleable, and they're difficult. But it's also, if you really do your homework and you're used to setting up for fish and stuff like that, like, you can have great success. So I think you probably are in a place to look into about anything that interests you. If you want something that's similar maybe to fish keeping, things like anoles lizards are really, really interesting. Chameleons are a little bit more challenging, but they're very active in their enclosures. These are things that are a little more hands-off, but they're really interesting to watch. If you're wanting something that's more hands-on, that you can hold and stuff, look into things like bearded dragons and look into crested geckos and ball pythons. But sky's the limit for you, and that this whole channel is there to help you find what you like and what fits your abilities and desires the best.
Okay, another super chat.
Super chat.
Adriana Dieters says, can you tell us about deep heat projectors?
I don't know too much about deep heat projectors just yet. I actually want to, right now I'm looking to dramatically upgrade the enclosures that I have. And so I need to learn a lot more about some of the more recent innovations when it comes to heating, because I think we're going to want to go with a lot of radiant heat panels and stuff like that. So I don't know enough to give you a good review right now, but I will look into that in the near future.
Let's see. Dan C says, thank you so much for the information on the cool ring. You rock.
Thank you.
Let's see. Another super chat from Gabby Sky, or Ski, says, hello, Clint. I'm curious, as an apprentice to a venomous reptile keeper, what would you see as a good beginner haunt?
Oh, there's only one.
Maybe we should reference what a haunt is.
Okay. So, there are lots of venomous reptiles out there, right? Like hognose snakes, my false water cobra. But then there are snakes with medically significant venom, and these are generally referred to as hots. It's usually just your vipers and elapids, though if you had a boom slang, I'm sure that would kind of fall under that category as well. So these are snakes that could very much jeopardize your health and maybe your life. I think as far as, I don't see myself as a major keeper of hots, just because there's some serious risk involved there. That's just my personal decision, and there are ways to do it safely. If I were going to keep one personally, it would be an eyelash viper, which, honestly, arguably the coolest snake in the world anyway, and the venom for a viper, pretty minor, mild rather. So that would be what I would say. There are others that are low key, but the bite is horrific. And so, anyway, those are my thoughts.
Another super chat from Whippo asks or says, cover how genes can piggyback in meiosis in a video.
Should we do more detailed genetics videos? Our current genetics videos are not super popular, but genetics is so cool. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay, let's open a fan letter.
All right. Okay, this one's from Gavin. Please email me back. Okay. Just so I know you got it, how about this instead? I got it. It's right here. This is better than an email, is it not? Okay. Sweet. To Clint's Reptiles. Has this bodacious chameleon on it. Oh, and there's a great letter in here. I'm going to have to read it because I'm forbidden to read them right now. But thank you so much, Gavin. I got it.
Let's see. Nathan Adams over on Patreon, who actually was the patron who we threw in our video of pink tongue skink holding his blue tongue skink.
That was such a great video, and it just made my day. Thank you so much for all the kind things you had to say.
Says, rack systems are a very popular way to cost-effectively maintain a large collection of snakes. It seems to me, however, very difficult to offer adequate enrichment for reptiles kept in a rack system. Do you think this is true? How do you recommend integrating animal enrichment into a rack system? And what do you consider adequate enrichment for pet reptiles? We kind of did a video on this.
Yeah, this is I gave you some of my thoughts in my How Should We House Snakes, but that was kind of more of a just generally. I would say racks can be just as good as tanks or other sorts of enclosures, because effectively, still it can be a similar amount of space. It's just that it slides, right? And it's got a fixed heat source, but really what's going to matter is what do you put inside of that enclosure for, any sort of enclosure. So, I think a rack can be really good, but a rack, and a tank can be really bad if you don't have it set up appropriately. The amount of enrichment probably varies a lot. A lot of people say that their main enrichment for their snake is when they get it out of its enclosure, which, if you're getting it out pretty regularly, there's probably some truth to that. But, there are a lot of things that you can do to change things up. Introducing new smells to the enclosure on a fairly regular basis, non-alarming smells, but interesting and different smells, that's something that could really make a big difference to a snake as far as giving it something to explore, because their world is far more olfactory than our world by far. I mean, you kind of pay more attention to like what a dog does when it's out in the world, because they're also, the world is smell to them. We hardly notice smells. They're getting so much information about so many things everywhere they go. So that would be a big thing for me, and just different things to explore. You can change out the decorations and hides and things like that you have inside of the enclosure or the rack on a regular basis, and I think either of them could work really well.
Why don't you remind people where we're at, and also why maybe video quality isn't as good as it could be?
Okay, a reminder. We are at the future Clint's Reptile room tonight, which means that we don't have our normal internet connection. We are borrowing Wi-Fi from a neighbor who okayed that, and they were really awesome. But I recognize the quality is maybe not as good as normal. I apologize. When we are filming here all the time, because we intend to move our studio here, when we're filming here all the time, we'll make sure that the internet is better.
Let's jump over back to Patreon. One of our patrons, Reptile, who we've met actually at the Wasatch Reptile Expo, says, how do you not let the sometimes hostile attitude of people within the hobby get you down?
That's a good question. There are two different versions of this hobby. There's this hobby that you encounter online, and there's this hobby that you encounter in person. And what I have noticed in person is that reptile people tend to be some of the least judgmental, kindest, just nicest people you'll ever meet. Yeah, oftentimes people that are a little bit misunderstood. There's a reason they like reptiles, right? And it's because I think we all relate a little bit, and so I've had just the best experiences ever getting to know people in this hobby. But I should say, online things can get pretty nasty, and I think that's just kind of the nature of online communities. I am actually blown away by how kind the Clint Reptiles community is. I do get some hostile comments and stuff from time to time, but really nothing too severe, and I got to tell you, it is something that, like, as a content creator on YouTube, you need to learn to adjust to that a little bit, because it's unnatural to have maybe dozens of people having critical or mean things to say to you every day, right? Like, that's if that's happening to you in the real world, like, something's really wrong, right? And so you need to learn how to not take it super personally. Something I try to do is just, I try not to be defensive or angry about it. I try to always respond politely and sometimes lightheartedly, especially if somebody's just being purely rude. I had I don't know, I should share this or not, but I had a great experience a while back. You might even be watching. But it was on one of our turtle videos. Somebody said something that was probably a little bit uncalled for. And they said, this guy, I'm paraphrasing, but this guy looks like he wears other people's skins around as a cape or something like that. And it was a turtle video. So I just responded, it's called a shell. And Jason's shaking his head, no, I shouldn't share this anyway. But, I've learned, like, when somebody's being rude to you, there's no point in doing anything but making fun of yourself. And And so, like 6 months later, they commented on one of our videos that a long time ago they'd said something really rude, and they quoted what they'd said, and they said that I'd responded, "It's called a shell." And they knew right then that I was their kind of person, and they subscribed right away, and they've been watching all of our videos since then. And so, you know, it is hard. Online communities can be hard, and I think the key is to just stay polite, stay nice, and stay lighthearted a little bit.
So speaking of our patron, Ramen Reptile, Amanda over there at Ramen Reptile also sent you a package.
Whoa! Could it be? Look at, are you seeing this? It's got a wax seal. Okay, so this is a letter I'm not allowed to read from Amanda of Ramen Reptiles, but I will read it soon. Holy smokes. This box is so pretty, I'm going to feel bad opening it. Look at this. Look at this thing. And it's got a snake seal. That's so cool. All right. Well, that didn't work. I don't know the way to do this other thing. Oh, am I there? Okay. You can see I don't get too many sealed boxes in my everyday life. I don't even know how to approach one. It's got confetti inside. And then bubble wrap. Oh, I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. Okay. I'm going to show you this here in a second because this is important. I know exactly. And stickers. Okay. Yeah, hold my box. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Show the people.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So, Amanda makes the most incredible sculptures and pendants and jewelry, and she hand paints each one to look exactly like your reptile. And you guys know I have a little male piebald ball python with my initials on him, CL. She told me she was going to make something, but I didn't know what it was going to be, and he's perfect. And these are like, I saw a picture of one of the sculptures she made on Facebook a long time ago, and I have been a huge fan ever since. And this, I am blown away. I am so excited about this. So I gotta show you what else. This is like one of the coolest things I've ever received in my whole life. It's perfect. Oh my good. Thank you. All right. Yes, with super care. That is one of a kind and priceless. She also sent these stickers. I gotta make sure that we get them. She's an amazing artist. Look at that fire skink. These are incredible. Look at that blood python. I love these. Okay, and this is her contact information. She will seriously make one of these incredible things for you. It can look just like any animal you like or your exact pet. She's such an amazing artist, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Amanda. I did not know that was in that box, and I'm just speechless. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. It's incredible.
Okay, let's jump over to Super Chat.
Super Chat? I'm distracted. I just want to look at it. It's amazing.
Super Chat.
Super Chat.
Let's see. Owen Kirk says, "Hey Clint, my brand new BRB." There you go.
Bam!
That's on the spot. Good job. Escaped her Viv on Sunday night, and I've been stressing out trying to find her. Any tips on how to find a missing snake?
Yeah, I mean, So this is a big deal, and you probably know this, but Brazilian rainbow boas, humidity is really important with them. So hopefully you live in a fairly humid place. What I would recommend doing, just short term, is putting out water bowls. Put out lots of water bowls in your house, just so she can find water, if it takes you a little bit to find her. I'll give you a few ideas. Okay. So one idea, well, she's probably going to be in a dark, warm spot. Okay, so like closets and just anywhere dark and warm. Look in shoes, under beds, things like that. Those are very likely places for her to be. Near your refrigerator could be one of those dark, warm places. Let's see. Also, this is something I did a while back. I had my Dumerals monitor got out. This was quite a while ago, but I knew where he was, but he was behind. He got behind Gus's enclosure, and I can't get back there. I've learned my lesson, by the way. When we move Gus's enclosure to here, it'll be on wheels, so I can move it if this should happen. But I can't get back there to get to him, and he'd go back there, and whenever I'd see him, he'd run back there and hide or something like that. Anyway, I have something called a Wyze Cam, WYZE. It's a little camera, and it'll send you notifications, and you can have it go on when there's movement. And so I put a water bowl in there because he likes to get in the water. So I had a big water bowl, and I knew he was using it because I was putting food in it, and he'd go eat it. And I put that camera on it, and it sent me an alert when he was there, and I went down and grabbed him right away. So if you have something like that, that can also be really helpful. But I wish you the best. Just search everywhere, especially if it's small and dark.
Flippo decided to use her super chat to ask you to read out Ramen Reptiles
Card?
URL,
okay,
website that's on right there.
Yes.
So, which is super nice of her to be thoughtful enough to make sure that got read out.
That was super nice. Let's see.
Does it have a website?
It doesn't have a website on here. So
just Google Ramen Reptiles.
Yeah, I apologize. I originally found her through Facebook.
Ramen Reptiles, one word, on Etsy, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail. Not sure exactly what that means.
It's the coolest stuff ever. And she's stupendously nice. So just support her. Like, honestly, like I've seen lots of sculptures of reptiles, and I don't think I've ever seen any as amazing as these. I love them. Like they're simultaneously realistic and stylistic. I don't know how to, like they're just perfect. They're perfect. I love them.
Let's see, Adriana Dieters says, thank you. You're freaking rad. Love your channel.
Well, thank you so much. You guys are so kind.
Charlie Cole says, your informational videos have helped me decide on my first reptile. I'll be getting a corn snake at Repticon in December. Happy face.
Excellent choice. I'm so glad we were able to help you.
Another super chat, Rowan Wren says, hey Clint, thank you for introducing me to Ackies, and can you recommend any breeders for them?
Yes, I can. So Great Basin Serpentarium, they produce quite a few Ackies, and they're awesome. There was somebody at Tinley, who I really wish.
That one girl that we were chatting with?
Well, she was awesome, but I don't know that they breed them, but it's the one with all the different monitor species. They have the Kimberly Rock monitors.
They were over in the park corner.
Yes. It's somebody I recognize. Dang it. But they were excellent. So maybe if you go through the breeders list for the Tinley show, I think they have monitor right in the name of their company, and they'd be excellent. And I'm sure there are a lot of great ones. But, Ackies are tremendous. So I'm so glad we were able to help you find them.
Okay, let's keep catching up on Super Chats. Brian Rich says, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm an acarologist. ACAROLOGIST, and I'll be starting my PhD next year working with ticks again. Do you ever
Ah,
have issues?
Is it an arachnologist?
It might be a typo. Let's see. Do you ever have issues with ticks or mites with your reptiles?
Okay, so I fortunately don't really live in a place where there are many ticks. Mites are something, though, that I would think everybody worries about. I took in a rescue one time that had mites, and I did a mite treatment for it, and that was the end of that. But mites are something that can spread through your whole collection. They can be very severe if you don't treat them. And the reason it's such a big deal for captive reptiles versus wild reptiles. I mean, wild reptiles get mites and ticks fairly often. It's just that they don't end up like stuck essentially in a nest of mites, which can happen in their enclosure because the reptile, if the reptile was in a place just infested with mites, it would just move on to somewhere else, right? But now it's sort of stuck there and it can just get brutalized by mites. And so it's always something I worry about. I've never had ticks. I've never even really heard about somebody having ticks come into their collection. But I can tell you when I'm doing work out in the field, I wear hip waders even when I'm not going into the water, and that has helped tremendously with ticks.
Another super chat from Game Boy Plays says, I love your videos. Will you be at Repticon Jax FL? So I'm guessing
Jacksonville, Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I don't know what expos I'm going to be attending in the future. I really had only been to like my local expos for the most part. Last year I traveled to the Denver Expo because I have family out there. My parents live in Colorado, so we visited there while I was at that expo. And then Jason and I went to Tinley, and we had just such a magnificent time. And so I would like to start going to more expos, and I've heard really good things about the Florida expos. I love Florida. I used to live there. It was marvelous. And so I would say it's definitely a possibility in the future.
Another super chat from Kyle Phillips. He sent a happy face poop emoji.
Well, how about that?
Let's see, another super chat from Lynch420 says, who is your fave Dragon Ball Z character? Were you a Dragon Ball Z fan?
I have terrible news. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So many of my friends were major Dragon Ball Z fans. So I've been exposed to it to some degree, but I've never really watched very much Dragon Ball Z myself. So I'll go with Goku. And if that's a terrible choice, I apologize and I retract it.
Good. Sierra S. sent a super chat saying, this is for Jason's hard work. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you for saying that. You have no idea how much work Jason puts into these videos. He's an incredible partner for me. And I can promise you, Clint's Reptile videos, like this wouldn't be a thing if it weren't for Jason. So thank you for giving him that shout out.
Let's see. Katie McCullum sent a super chat. Thank you, Katie.
No smiley poop emoji? Well, what can you do?
Just a how do you do?
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's jump over to let's open our last item for mail.
This is crazy feeling. Okay. Hello. It's me. Let's see.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot in this little pouch. Okay, so for starters, hello. And a really nice letter from Margaret. I'll have to read more later. Oh, she says, I love your quote about being a noodle with a head. Look at this. I love that. You know what the best thing is? Like, these are some of my favorite animals in the whole world. I love that it has sharks on it too, because
what's it say?
Protect scary animals.
Nice.
And they're marvelous. Why do I love them so much? I don't know, but I do. They're my favorites. Okay, that's support for it, but it feels like there's more in here. Something heavy. Oh, wow. I know who you are. I talked to you at Tinley. I'm pretty sure. Because I recognize this picture. Let's see. And this is one of your
Covering up its
magnets.
head.
I'm covering up its head, sorry.
There you go.
I want to get it so you can see the brightness. This, I think Emily has got this actual piece of artwork on one of the shirts available from Snake Discovery, and you've included a whole bunch of other stinking rad magnets, it looks like, of some of your artwork. Woo! Looks like a mystic potion. I love these. Crocodile. This is a great day. Thank you, artists, for sending your incredible art. This is something I don't know if I have talked much about, but I love art, and I love reptile art. As a kid, I had probably kind of two big passions, and in fact, my friend Andrew and I, we shared these two passions. Our two big passions were art and science, and we were both really into both of those things. And I love to draw, and I spent most of my time drawing animals and dinosaurs, and which dinosaurs are animals, but dinosaurs are rad, so they get their own special designation. But I love to do that, and I eventually became a biologist, and Andrew eventually became a graphic designer, and but I often it excites me so much to see the incredible things that artists like you are making, especially artists that share my reptile love.
Buckets.
These are incredible.
Magnets.
They're just amazing. Woo! Look at this one. Might be a video on these coming soon. No big deal. You know I love that. These are the best. My gosh, they just. Oh, look how cool that is.
Okay. Is there
Jason's not going to allow this for much longer.
Is there like an email address or something?
Yeah, I got to share this stuff. Hang on. Okay. They're so cool. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Got to be some good identification information. I just wanted to. Oh, here we go. So this is Terra Tiger Studio, and that has the URL right there. So if you want some of your own stinking rad magnets of amazing, these are incredible. Thank you so much. That's so thoughtful of you, and they make my day.
So let's jump over to Patreon for one of our patrons. This is Aquarimax Pets, who was the.
I know you.
He's got his own YouTube channel, and he's a Patreon, and he did
the most recent one.
The most recent one, right? What video did we just release? Why can't I think?
So little help.
we like think 5 videos at any given time. Anyways, he was the patron on the most recent, the Owls.
Yep, I was gonna say.
And
by the way, of our last 10 videos, the 3 most popular have been the peregrine falcon, the owl, and the jumping spider. I'm hoping you guys still want to hear about more traditional reptiles.
So he says, I am currently keeping my, and I don't know if this is a typo or just me not knowing the lingo, 2.1 red-sided garter snake juveniles.
Oh yeah, because you got those from Don at Don's Garters.
In a plastic tub enclosure. Once they are big enough, I will move them to a bioactive 40-gallon breeder vivarium. I am deciding which type of basking light to use. Some swear by UVB with garters. Other breeders do not use it and seem to get good results. Many say the UVB is definitely beneficial for garters, but not strictly necessary. What's your take on UVB specifically with reference to garter snakes?
I haven't, since I don't keep any garters right now, I haven't given it tremendous thought. But, as you're bringing this up, I think do it. One thing that you could do is just do a mercury vapor bulb. then you wouldn't have, mercury vapor bulbs, sometimes maybe they don't put out enough UV for some animals, but if you're kind of trying to decide one way or another, that'd be one solution. Garters, a lot of snakes are not out in the sun very much, but garters are. Garters are out during the day, and when you encounter them in the wild, a lot of times they're just sitting out in the sun basking. And so even though they might do just fine without it, I can pretty much guarantee to you that they're going to do even better with it. And do it. That'll be awesome. Well, I was going to suggest you do some science and keep some of them with it and some without. But maybe you don't want to do that to your garters. I guarantee you they're not going to do worse. And so I would do it. Do it. That's a great idea. Now I will do that because I got to have some red-sided garters eventually, right? That's got to happen.
Okay, let's try to do a speed round.
Speed round?
And I might be the bottleneck in the speed round. So,
Let's do it.
No knees.
Sorry about that.
It says, do you have a favorite dino? Mine is Cryolophosaurus.
Wow. I got to look that one up later. I think right now, and it fluctuates, but I think right now my favorite dinosaur is Carnotaurus.
T. Reed says, I think the bird videos are so popular just because people are like, what? Birds aren't reptiles?
There's definitely some outrage about that. You may be right.
Jacob Herp says, can you talk about breeding bearded dragons and what it takes? I want to get into it.
Okay. Breeding bearded dragons is actually fairly simple. This is speed round, so I'll have to go pretty quickly. The main thing that I will tell you is you're going to produce a ton of them. And so make sure that, and they're a lot of work, the babies, they are a lot of work. I've still got some, and it's just been, I've been working with them, but it's hard to even find time to rehome them all. And so make sure that you're prepared for that.
Faster!
Sorry.
Okay,
Faster!
Scuba diver Derek says, are boa pythons good starter snakes?
Yeah, they can be excellent, and that's why they're on our top 5 for beginners.
BB Milliman says, can I breed native species and release them?
I wouldn't. Unless you're part of some sort of conservation effort, don't do that.
Euromastix12 says, do you know what to put at the bottom of a Euromastix tank?
Substrate. You can also do birdseed, but I've heard kind of mixed reviews about that. So go to a care guide very specific to your mastics to get really good opinions on that.
Brian Rich says, I wonder if Clint will get into tarantulas. I noticed that a lot of other herp channels have done that.
I do have a tarantula, and I've kept tarantulas most of my life, and I have a friend who happens to be one of the biggest spider breeders in the western United States, so seems plausible to me.
Dane says, reptile room tour video in the future? That's the tour, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Gabe's Gecko says, Clint, are tree frogs a good pet?
Oh, they're awesome. They're so awesome. But they got typical amphibian drawbacks. But they're awesome.
T. Reed says, what's your favorite color?
Blue. Sometimes purple, but probably blue.
Alice Nancy says, I like your tie.
Thank you.
Having a good day?
I'm having a decent day. I've been a little under the weather the last couple days. I'm feeling much better today than yesterday. So I appreciate you guys putting up with me maybe being lower energy than normal, though I think still pretty decent energy.
Yeah, your whole family is a little under the weather.
Yeah, I've been the least under the weather of anyone in my family, but it's been an okay day.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, faster.
Kevin Vanderbeck says, are you going to New England Reptile Distributor to pick up a cow retic?
I would like that. I am planning to go to Nerd here in January, and I have some really fun ideas for videos with them, so I'm super excited about it.
Scott Rowan asks, when is a GTM video coming? GTM.
Let's see.
That means something at my job, but not in reptile.
What does it mean there?
Go to market.
Green tree monitor. Bam! Acronyms. Okay. When is a green tree monitor coming? Video coming?
Yes.
If you noticed, the thumbnail for our last live stream featured a green tree monitor, which might be a clue to the fact that we filmed it way back then.
Let's see. Yeah, We have, yeah. We filmed one with Emily, didn't we?
No.
No?
That was Green Tree Python.
Oh, that's right.
This is a Green Tree Monitor.
That's, come on.
GTP, I would have got real quick. GTM, I was like,
Let's see. Ryan Watson says, "What's up? Love your show."
Hey, thank you, Ryan.
Let's see. Snowball and Strike the Budgies says, "Do you breed any boas?"
No, all my boas are girls. But the Peruvian longtail boas, I may consider getting a male because they're awesome. And I'll add that to my list of underrated snakes because they're awesome.
Firex Elixir says, "What's your favorite unconventional reptile?"
Unconventional reptile? What does that even mean? Let's go with matamatas. They're as unconventional as it gets.
Let's see. James Nicholson says, "If you could gene engineer the perfect reptile, what traits would it have and where would those traits come from?" That's a tough one.
Okay, so it would be Carnotaurus. But it'd be this big. It would eat on the frequency of a blood python. I could even let it, but it would prefer to eat a squash when it eats. So I'd have to get it a squash about every 2 weeks, and then it would poop like once a month like a blood python. Just this enormous super poop.
Okay. Lauren Morris asks, "How old is Gus Gus?"
Gus, I've had him for 4 years now, and he was probably less than a year old when I got him. I just recently posted a picture of him when he first came to me, and we'd kind of had him for a while, but a friend of mine had him for the first couple months, and then I wound up with him. So he's probably going on 5.
Let's see. Alicia Gordon asks, "Can we get a video on building enclosures?"
We are going to do many of those in the near future. We do have one already, and we've got another one planned for the short term. I do plan to do that Aki build. And then when we start building stuff in here, I'm going to try to keep you guys in the loop and show you guys what we're doing.
Yeah, we have the bioactive.
With the bioactive
We have the Aki one planned. And morning gecko.
Oh!
Right?
There may be a video, that is true. There may be a video coming out in the very near future that has an enclosure build. I almost forgot about that one. And then, yes, this whole room will be full of enclosure build videos, probably.
Could you, let's see, Mackenzie Gladys asks, "Could you possibly do a video about turtle care like red-eared sliders?"
Oh, yeah, we'll cover red-eared sliders for sure. In fact, it's a little bit absurd that we haven't covered them to this point.
Let's see. Finn Chapman says, "Thinking about going to biology as my major. What do you think?"
I think that's great if there's a career in biology that you would enjoy doing for a career. I think it's one of the bad pieces of advice that people give you to pick a major that you like. Pick a career that you would enjoy because you do that for decades, right? Your major, that's something you do for like 4 years, but you might be 40 years in your career. So find a career you like and get the qualifications for that career, no matter what they are or how unpleasant getting those qualifications may be, because it's worth it in the long run. But I love it. Biology is awesome, so if there is something there, do it.
Potato Chip asks, "Have you done a basilisk lizard video?"
We haven't. I'd like to. Finding healthy adults has been challenging.
Andrew Ewald says, "Hey Clint, any plans on making a video on house geckos? Thank you."
Yeah, I think we should. I don't know that we have a specific plan, but we'll do it. It'll happen.
Scott Rowan asks, "Should I take my bearded dragon skydiving?"
I don't think it would like that.
Cole Smith says, "Could you cover how to breed crickets or other feeders?"
Yeah, in fact, we've got a video already on top 5 feeder insects, And I do talk quite a bit about how to produce your own for all of those.
Gabby's Gecko says, "Hey Clint, are tegus good pets?
Yes.
Are they docile or mean? Just asking."
Oh, it depends some on the species and how much they've been socialized. But if you get an Argentine tegu and you give it just kind of moderate amounts of contact, like it's going to probably turn out pretty great. Even the wild caught ones out of the Everglades seem to calm down really nicely. They're awesome.
Creeping Talon says, "Do darkling beetles make good cleanup crew?"
Yeah, I've actually been experimenting with that a little bit lately, just using mealworms as and superworms as cleanup crew. Superworms make me a lot more nervous, but mealworms, they seem to be doing pretty great.
GF Beauregard says, oh man, it just scrolled. "Could you tell my wife that hognose snakes are great?"
I don't know if I can tell your wife that hognose snakes are great enough. They're so great. Honestly, if I could only keep one species of snake, it might be hognose snakes because they're so amazing and they're reasonable. I wish I had the money to have like 1,000 hognose snakes because they're awesome, and you should get a hognose snake. And if you don't think that hognose snakes are awesome, you should still get a hognose snake.
You're just not aware of how awesome.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Here, I got a magnet. That'll just show you. I mean, how could you not love that face? It's impossible. It's impossible not to love that face. They're adorable.
Scuba diver, I may have been doing a lot of scuba diver Derek's. Where are you?
I am at the future Clint's Reptile Room, which is located in Springville, Utah, and is being made possible largely because of the assistance of people, who watch this channel and support what we do. We do have a GoFundMe going because, we're getting there, but it's, this is something that's going to be kind of expensive to do, but I'm really excited about what it's going to allow us to do on this channel and what it's going to allow us to do for the community around us. Thank you, guys.
What will it allow for the community around us? What is it gonna accomplish, Clint?
This is so cool. So, okay, for probably the last 6 or 7 years. So Clint's Reptiles actually existed well before we were doing these videos. And what Clint's Reptiles is, because we still do this and has been for a long time, is an outreach program. Where I take animals and biology education and I take it to schools and private parties and museums and places like that. And I show them animals. I let them have real firsthand contact with these animals because they're amazing and they're so misunderstood. And after you give somebody an experience like that, their perception of these animals and our hobby, it's never ever the same. It's never the same after they have something like that. I can actually still remember experiences like that when I was a small child. And so I've been doing that for a long time. But, my life is busy. It's really busy. And so I actually haven't advertised that in the last 4 years. We still do quite a lot of outreach just by word of mouth. But I haven't been advertising it. But I would like to do this on a much grander scale than we do now. My background is in biology education. That's what my education is, and what I want to be is an education outreach coordinator. I want to be more than just what I can do, but I want to train other people to be able to bring this message to people everywhere. And so having this facility is going to allow us to bring in groups of people here to see these amazing animals and to have real experiences with them. It's also going to allow me to train people to take these animals out and expand this outreach tremendously. We'll advertise it to a lot of schools, and we'll apply for a lot of the grants and things that are available to support such educational programs, and we'll just share the love of these animals with as many people as we can touch.
If these guys wanted to help bring the reptile room, Clint's Reptile Room, to reality, how would they accomplish that, specifically the reptile room?
So specifically for the reptile room right now, what we have is our GoFundMe that's going. And there's a link to that down in the description. I shared that link in the community tab. And I'm going to try not to just bombard you guys with it. Like, I so appreciate everything that you're doing. I want you to know, like, I don't expect this of you guys. You know, this isn't something you have to do. But I have been so amazed by the kindness that you have shown and just the love and the sacrifice that you guys have put into make this happen. Like, I feel like when this is done, this is going to be something that we all own, right? This isn't something that is mine. You know, it is something that is ours, that we did together. And the truth is, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for the fact that there were so many people that said, we'll be there. We'll be there to support you and help you build this. And so I've been amazed. I've been amazed by how many people said that they'd be willing to help. And I've been amazed by how many people have actually done it. You know, like, it means so much to me. I feel like I haven't even had time to really process it and let it just sink in what an amazing thing that is and what an amazing community you guys are to, I don't know, just show me that kind of love and support and confidence. And it's a little bit intimidating because it's like, this is precious, right? This is your sacrifice, and I gotta make this something that you'd be proud of. And but I will, and you guys are gonna help me get there. Thank you.
So, if they want to help support the Clint's Reptile Room, they
go to the GoFundMe, and there's a tour of this facility and just a quick one that we did, and a description of what we intend to do. We'd be happy to talk more about it in the future. We'll probably once we've got enough to really get everything built. Because right now it's sort of about can we get the lease and the security deposit and all those things. And then build everything, and then there will be some long-term maintenance and stuff, and so we'll probably set up a Patreon specific for the reptile room in the future. We haven't done that just yet, but if that's something that you guys would be interested in, please let me know, and that's something that we could do as well.
If our viewers are interested in supporting specifically Clint's Reptiles, how would they do that? Clint's Reptile videos.
Oh, if you want to support Clint's Reptile videos, these super chats are amazing. Also, our patrons on Patreon, you guys, it's incredible to me. I am so blown away by the generosity of so many people and their willingness to support what we're doing here. It means so much to me. And so those are the ways that we have. Oh, also our merch, right? We have merch from our Teespring store, which shows up below all the videos. So you can click on our Teespring store. When you
keep watching our videos.
Yeah. Watch videos. Yeah, share them with your friends. It seems like people tend to really enjoy this content when they know about it. But we've actually had a very difficult time spreading the word. We've never had a single video go what I'd call viral. Right? I mean, we have very consistent and steady growth, and we love that.
Because of our amazing viewers?
It's because of you guys. It's all because of you guys. But I think there are a lot of people out there who would like to know about Clint's Reptiles that don't. And so please spread the word. Those would be great ways to support this channel.
So speaking of Super Chat, we got a few more in.
More Super Chats?
Whiffo, which has done like 5 Super Chats.
Thank you, Fliffo.
Asks, what species is your tarantula? Avicularia metallica is my favorite. I probably butchered the Latin on that.
Yeah, and I don't know my Latin names of tarantulas all that well, but mine is a Concepcion tarantula. We actually showed it off a while back. I talked about what I got at an expo, and I showed off the Concepcion tarantula and something else. Anyway, you should check that out.
Let's see. Jeremy did a super chat and says, I love science education. Never change, Clint.
I don't think I could if I wanted to.
TB did a super chat and says, opinion on Calotes, Calotes. I have 3 and heart them so much. Heart you too.
I know what that is. But I'm drawing a blank right now.
Let's see if I can Google it fast
Yeah,
enough.
sorry.
Lizard. They're pretty,
Can you show me?
pretty legit looking.
Oh, yes, I know what that is. Calotes. I think that's how
Sorry,
that. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think they're really, really cool. There are some people online that post pictures of them. They're just unbelievable. And I've seen some people who are definitely breeding them. I think Calotes is a species, and I really like them. But I need to do more research as far as how hardy they are. It seems like one of those species that might be kind of hit and miss, and a lot of imports. And so, before I would do a video on them, for example, I'd do a lot more homework.
So we do these videos when we get fan mail. So tell them how we can do more videos.
Oh yeah, so if you like us doing these live streams, we tend to do them when we've got letters and things to open and share. So please, we've got our address for our PO box, which here I can show you right there.
Or just read it out.
Or you can read
probably for
Clint's Reptile, 770 East Main Street, number 127, Lehi, Utah, 84043. And you know, and I love hearing from you guys, especially when you got rad artwork to show me. Come on.
Okay, we need to wrap up, so we'll just do a quick
Extra lightning round?
extra lightning round. Super chat from Laura White says, have you ever thought about producing worksheets to go with your videos?
I think that's a really good idea. It's a really good idea. And we'd probably have to partner with somebody who's making those sorts of really, if it's a really detailed care sheet, I'd want to make sure that they're each coming to you from an expert source. But I think that's a cool idea.
Kevin, I'm going to butcher the last name, says, in your opinion, are blue-tongued skinks better or bearded dragons?
Ooh. They're very different. They're both really awesome. Jason says I need to go fast. I think beardies are they're more active, and they'll also just sit on your shoulder, right? So sort of for handling and for feeding, beardies are more fun. But blue tongues are really reasonable to keep, and they're just pleasant little potato dudes. And I think they're both marvelous in different ways.
Cole Roller asks, Venomous Reptiles, any chance you would venture into them?
Oh yeah, yeah. Might even have some stuff planned.
Guacamaya Chingona. Wow. Will you, I'm sorry, I butchered that. Will you get more videos about amphibians?
Yeah, I think we should. Do you guys like that idea?
Let's see. Clara Logston says, I RV the States full time and really want a snake. What do you say about a corn snake while living on the road?
Probably just depends on how stable your temperatures are inside of your RV and how bumpy it is in there. A corn snake could probably be better than most reptiles. Let's put it that way.
Let's see. They also say, thank you for sharing your excitement. Love your videos. Watch them all and love reptiles now because of your show.
Yes. Thank you.
Dane says, African Fat Tail vid with Emily's African Fat Tail.
I think that's a good idea. I'm not sure when the next time is we'll be up there, but sounds like a plan to me.
Ninja Go Splat 1991 says, what's your favorite morph of Cresty?
Well, there really aren't very many morphs in Cresties, but the lily whites are a morph, and they're awesome.
Chris Andrade says, are you ever going to make a video about carrot-tailed geckos? Love your videos.
As in, like the carrot-tailed hypo leopard geckos? Probably not a specific one, but if there's a different kind of carrot-tailed geckos, because there are many fat-tailed geckos that you could arguably call it carrot-tailed gecko. So if you're talking about one of those, maybe.
Critter Run 86 says, give Savannah Monitors a 5 out of 5, and I'll donate $5. Do a peach throw episode, please, Rad Man. He is trying to bribe you to change your opinion. What are your thoughts on
a
that?
5 out of 5 for Savannah Monitor?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll give him a 5 out of 5 for having a cool looking head. Because I love the way Savannah monitors look. They get a 5 out of 5 for looking rad.
But why not an overall score of 5 out of 5? Right?
Oh, because we're not good at keeping them alive long term.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Let's see. Pink-tongued or blue-tongued skinks by Gabriel Obeyer.
Yes. Pink tongues are smaller. Blue tongues are bigger. Both are awesome.
Tyler Mendez Duke says, is Ed the most elusive animal you've seen?
Ed's a delightful animal. Elusive. He's only elusive on camera, but I think maybe we've seen more Ed on camera than we've seen Jason on camera.
Good reason. Speaking of Ed, Tyler, let's see. The next person said, Strange Potato says, do a collab with Ed from Snake to Snake.
I've thought about that recently. Wouldn't that be marvelous?
TV says, can you please do a video on chihuahuas?
I would like that. I got to find somebody. I think I've got a problem that here in Utah we've got some chihuahuas, and so they're probably not legal to keep, which makes it hard for me to find somebody who's got one. But I'll try to figure something out.
Nunya Business wants to see a video on red tegus.
Oh, me too. Let's do that soon.
Let's see. Yasin says, have you ever shown off your reptile room? And if not, would you please make a video showing off all/most of your tanks?
Yes, and it's going to be awesome. But here it is.
Because it's going to be here.
It's going to be here very soon. So, like right now, it's just dark and difficult to film anything there, but we got something better now.
Kevin Vanderbeck mentions me, so therefore I should read his comment.
Oh, of course.
He says, is Jason the best cameraman?
No, he's not. He's not. He's not.
Not even close.
In fact, most of our camera work is done by Michelle, and she's awesome. And Jason, though, he went to Tinley, and he did a great job. But camera is usually not what Jason does, and Michelle, though she's arguably not a cameraman.
Lynch24 says, or 420 says, will you do a video on helmeted geckos?
If I can find one, that'd be awesome.
Let's see. Rod Kurt says, what do you think about live biological media for bearded dragons?
Oh, I'll need to study that more. But if you could do a bioactive enclosure for bearded dragons, that'd be great.
Let's see. I just saw a cool one. Ryan Watson says, any videos on black dragon monitors? That just sounds cool. What are those?
So I'm assuming by the black dragon, I think those are usually the black localities or morphs of the Asian water monitor. We may have an Asian water monitor video coming out in the very near future. And so most of the stuff for the black dragon is going to be pretty similar to that. But I will be around some black dragons in the near future. So if you want more than that, let me know.
Cole Roller did a follow-up with this question. What venomous snake would you get first?
Oh, well, as far as hot, I would only really consider a Nylash viper. Though, get a false water cobra or a hognose snake because they're awesome. They're so awesome. They're fantastic.
Clint, we got a super chat.
Super chat.
Yeah, let's see. Omar Y says, hi, Clint. I live in Denver, and I was wondering if you could do a video on other hognose species, since captive-bred Western hognoses are illegal.
That's the worst, isn't it? I'd like that. I really like the eastern and southern hognoses. Seems like they don't like a rodent diet as well, so you at least have to be scenting everything with toads, which means you need to keep toads. But let's do it because there are some other hogs that are rad. I don't know because this is probably technically the same species but a different subspecies. I don't know if you're allowed to have Mexican hognoses in Colorado, but the Mexican hog is basically a big-eyed version of the Western hognose snake, and so everything's pretty much exactly the same.
Sheriff Watermelon 6000 says, what has been your worst snake bite of the four? Mine was a copperhead, was envenomated, in case you were wondering. doozy.
Yeah, okay, so none of mine have been bad at all. Yours, quite bad. Really, the back three have all drawn some blood and had some itchiness that accompanied them, and that was it. Snake bites, unless it's by a highly venomous snake, they're really not a big deal. It's more the startle of it that I don't like. Did I get you? It's more the startle that I don't like than the pain.
Kaka Carrot Rot is persistent and says, Jason, ask him if under tank heaters gonna kill my beardy eggs in 2 days till I get incubator.
Oh, if your temps are right, it should be fine. But if they're fluctuating and spiking really high, they might. But that's probably. I mean, a lot of incubators basically work the same way as an under tank heater, and you could always raise them off. Like put them in a separate tub and have them off the ground so they're not experiencing the rapid or the big fluctuations in temperature.
We got a super chat.
Super chat.
Every time.
I get it.
Gets me every time. I think that's the only reason you do it. That's
Oh,
to
of
get me to
course.
laugh.
That's most of the reason I do anything during these is because if I get a giggle out of Jason, it's a good day.
Critter Run 86 says, "Here's your bribed $5. LOL. Thanks for all your awesome episodes. Love from Texas. Savannah monitors rule."
Good thing that you talked about a monitor that I really do adore them. I just the vast majority of people that keep them are the wrong people that keep them.
Let's see. G Pity 00 says, let's see. No, he's responding to someone. CJ Ray says, where in Utah is the best place to buy snakes and lizards?
Best place to buy snakes and lizards? Probably at the Wasatch Reptile Expo. But that's not there all the time. There are some really great reptile stores actually here in Utah, and then there's Great Basin Serpentarium. You hear me talk about them a lot, and go to their website. The number of species that they work with, just amazing. It's quite an operation.
Let's see. Finn Chapman says, "Do you know any good crested gecko breeders?"
Oh yes,
Wait, don't you breed crested geckos?
I do breed crested geckos.
I know you breed them. Do you actually end up selling?
Sometimes. Finding time to sell animals is tough for me, but I should do that, and I'll try to do that in the coming months. Also, Melanie at Bertopia Geckos, she's excellent. But really, there are a lot of good crested gecko breeders out there.
Austin Frohlek, I'm sorry, Austin, sent a super chat.
Super chat.
That says, "Just say super chat." LOL.
Super chat.
Oh my goodness! All right, we should probably wrap this up. We're nearing an hour 30 minutes. So we should
Okay.
probably wrap up. Oh wait, hold on. Another super chat. The super chat's coming. All right, Nicole Castle says, "Hello, friend."
Well, hi there.
Uriel Gray says, "You rock. Love you all, and I'm so grateful for you guys, for all you guys are doing and planning on. It's so exciting seeing all your new plans."
Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for being here with me. I love you guys. You guys are incredible, and none of this would be possible without you.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
it. Thanks, guys.
I got to dig through a bunch of art to even end this. Hey, thank you guys for being here. We'll hope to see you real soon. Am I sure I want to end? Yes.
Bye.
Bye.